Welcome back to another Bit Heroes video. Today you're joining me. We are in the Jammie expedition. This is the third expedition that they've introduced thus far into the game. And we are in the Zorgo portal, or the first portal. And the reason why is because of that familiar that you just saw there, the green version of Marm, is what we are hunting for. So that is the schematic that we want, and her name is Marmbo. She is the best epic healer in the game, so if you haven't already done so, spend some time here and try to go after her. And that is exactly what I'm doing. You can see that I've got the Super Scroll that we got from the Easter event. I'm running that. I was smart and I planned to save up all my honor for another expedition. So here we are. And that's something that I always recommend to everybody. Expeditions and limited time events are something that you really want to stack all of your resources for so that you can get the most out of them. And oh, hey, that is an epic schematic. So I don't know how many epic schematics are in this portal. Marmbo might actually be the only one. So we'll check it when we get out of here, but this might be a shorter video than anticipated. Now, as far as other things in this expedition, in the Jammie expedition, I'm not too excited about the epic items, the mythic items. They're okay, but it's nothing that I'd really want to grind. And due to the rarity of mythic items, you could throw 20 or 50 plaques at something and still not get it. So it's something that I wouldn't want to get my hopes up for, and something that I don't really want to burn resources for. Now, we did get Marmo. This is awesome. She is the best epic healer in the game, and the reason why is because she comes with her expedition proc. So she essentially has a Tobert proc, and she also has a 1 SP attack all skill, which means that she has a chance to proc this effect for every enemy that she hits. On top of it, she's a spread heal healer, and she's got a great distribution of stats. So she's got more stamina than most of the healers, which is actually a good thing. And then her attack stats are split between attack power and with agility. So compare that to the only other healer that you can get from Expedition is Woost. Woost has such low stamina that Woost can be very difficult to use early on in the game. And then you have Remy T, which is the best non-expedition healer in the game, I would say, but Remy T is also followed very close by Velk and Oppo. So I'm very glad to get Marm. I'll be using all the capture rate days in Zone 8, Dungeon 2, to try to farm up Marm. And it's going to be a lot easier to farm up 5 rare familiars than it is to farm 1 epic familiar. So that's also a big plus there. The limiting factor is going to be that she requires expedition materials, and the rate of acquisition of expedition materials, first off, it is not improved with item find, so that doesn't matter. And as far as the rate of acquisition, if you're just farming for the crafting material, which is something that I do not recommend you do, it's going to take around 40 plaques of badges to farm 100 materials. So keep that in mind. It's very, very steep curve. However, at the end of the event, you're going to get 150 materials just for participating. While it is going to take some time, if these expeditions continue to come back again and again, as we've been seeing previously, a couple tiers into the game, and then you will be able to stable everything that you need. Now, we've jumped on over into the 4th portal. This is the Grandpa Hef portal. And, well, you can see why it's called that, because the mythic familiar in here, the mythic for this exhibition, is Grandpa Hef. And we just got the schematic, so we're on fire. That's what a Super Scroll can do for you, I guess. Now, where was I? So we're in this 4th portal because we're looking for one more schematic. We're actually not looking for the mythic, because I'm not a big fan of him, and as a free-to-play, I don't think you should even worry about mythic schematics. But that does narrow down at least one less schematic in here that I could possibly loot. But this is Grandpa Hef. This is the guy that we're fighting. He's a mythic familiar. I believe he costs 650 expedition materials to farm him, so that's going to take forever. And then you just saw me get a piece of the DPS set in here, so we are on fire. Yeah, that's the Super Scroll for you. Now, since the Featherfall set piece dropped, it's worth mentioning that the weapon from the Featherfall set, which is a bow, is amazing, and if I was lucky enough to get that, I would actually be very excited about that. I'd actually rather get the Featherfall weapon, which is known as Maple Strike. I'd rather get that than any of the mythics in this one, just because the attacks are so good, but we'll see. Unfortunately, I'm probably not going to have enough legendary materials to worry about trying to exchange the ring and re-roll it and do all that, but wow, that's a lot of loot in a very short amount of time. That was back to back. Now, since we got this schematic, I will show it off. This is Grandpa Hef, so he is the mythic out of this portal, and so he's like, what, the 8th mythic tank that we've gotten in the game, so he's the first mythic block tank. He's got a ton of health. He's a meat shield. He's got a cool proc, but with a meat shield, the attack stat is so low that the value for the proc is not going to be a lot. And then to make him, it looks a little bit easier to make him because you just need a rare fusion and bronzy. This is the guy that we're looking for. This is the schematic that we want to get. Epic fusion and then another epic fusion. So easy enough to get the familiars, but you have to remember that each of the epics is going to cost 100, so that's 400 in epics, and then the rares are going to cost 50 expedition materials. So if my math is right, which is a little bit harder to do when you're actually recording, that means it's going to cost 650 materials, like I said before. So not the most economic thing to make, and it's not what we're here for anyways. So we are here for Bronzy. The reason why he is so good is because he has the Rogue proc, so he's got a spread shield proc, which is awesome, and then he's got a good stat distribution. So this is Bronzy right here, the orange guy. The thing about him is that he's got lower stamina, which makes him more difficult to use when you are lower level or when you have lower total stats. But as you progress through the game and your total stats increase, the bait tank is going to be more valuable than a big meat shield, because just like I said with Hef, all of his stats are in stamina, so his attack is going to be less, which means his proc is going to be less, and that is another epic schematic. Oh my goodness, so there's 2 epic schematics that we can get this portal. Smixy, the big tall one, is one of them, and then Bronzy, like I've been talking about, is the other one. So as soon as we finish this one, we're going to jump out and take a look and see which one we've gotten. But if I was able to do a clean sweep of all the schematics in one go, this is pretty crazy. A lot of people have a bit of a superstition that free-to-play characters have the best RNG. And this would be a little anecdotal evidence in that direction. So, another rundown, and let's take a look and see what we've got. Go to Epic, and let's take a look. Oh, it's Smixy. So this is a DPS familiar that we probably won't be worried about making. You could make an argument and say that he'd be kind of cool for PvP, but if I was going to go PvP, I would choose an Expedition familiar that had an offensive proccing effect, not a defensive proccing effect, if I was going to do that. But I'm not really worried about making a team just devoted for PvP. So let's keep at it. We're going to jump back into the portal, and again, we're going for Bronzy. So like I was saying, great proccing effect, good stat distribution for a bait tank. He's actually got the same amount of stamina as Marm. Preferably if you had like 0.1% less, that would be nice. And another schematic. This is Jammie. This is the only other schematic in this portal other than Bronzy that we could have gotten. Jammie is the little goblin guy that you see running around. So I guess we'll talk about Jammie. Now, Jammie is another, I would say, lackluster fusion coming out of here, just because Goblin is so rare. Excuse me, Gabi, the little goblin that you see in the campaign, is so rare that I couldn't really justify using him. You can see Jammie walking around right over there in the corner of the screen. I wouldn't justify using him in this schematic. He'd be much better spent in Goblin or just saved up for something in the future. But this is Jammie right here. He looks cool. He's a combination of Ambi, the little whale-looking guy, and, of course, Gabi. But, wow. So we've gotten every single schematic in this portal except for Bronzy. So if our luck stays true, hopefully we'll be going home with a full sweep. So that is awesome. This is a lot better than I did in the last Inferno expedition, I'll tell you that much. Alright, so we're running out of materials. I'm going to continue farming. One of the things that you can do is you can convert all of your guild honor into badges. If you're really desperate, you can convert your PvP coins into more badges as well. But yeah, I'm glad I was filming today, I'll tell you that much. So anyways, I'll probably make this a 2-part video. Now this one is getting pretty long. We're going to continue hunting. We're going to get Bronzy, but I would still say the most important one is Marmbo, and then hopefully the Hallowed Expedition will come back and we will be able to try to farm out Winsler for the full free-to-play / new player familiar sweep. And things are looking good. As always, I appreciate you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.